Here are the 5 tools that I use personally to speed up my 3D animated explainer videos. Starting out with number 1, you don't need to model everything. The portal gun, for instance, has been modeled a ton of times, so that worked out well for me. Here's the one that I use, the HD portal gun by Ingram. This is the reason why Sketchfab and so many of these sites exist. You definitely should utilize them. But importantly, you should learn how to model too. For instance, I had to model this little bit back here whenever I was doing my animation because it didn't exist in the original model. Number 2, definitely use asset libraries as much as you can. Things like BlenderKit are great because they're in Blender. You can use them straight from the viewport. It's super easy. I use them for things like models and textures, specifically this one right here, again, that was in the animation. I also used this workbench model, and the other cool thing to remember is that you don't have to use everything that you see. Just having the bones is really enough to make the animation your own. I removed things like the wooden arm, some of the pictures in the background here, and added different other things that made more sense for the portal gun animation. Also, third, importantly, I used Rococo, the sponsor of this video and the portal gun itself. Rococo makes it super simple. Honestly, guys, I've worked with big projects and big brands, and a lot of people prefer motion capture because it's just quick and easy, and there's nothing quite as realistic as real motion capture. Now, of course, it's important to, again, learn how to animate and do your best, but Rococo has a whole set of tools that make it super simple, and the add-on for Blender is free to use. And that's what I did by just plugging in a Mixamo animation and adding it straight to my character. The fourth thing that I used was this really cool procedural geometry node callout for Blender that I found on Blender Market or SuperHive. It was really simple, it's already animated, and it just plug and go basically for every little thing that I wanted to call out and talk about. The other cool thing was I didn't have to edit anything afterwards, so it was just straight up in Blender, and all I did was target the camera, and it basically lined up perfectly as it would in any other software. And because it's in Blender, it kind of had this sort of fade out effect, which made it just that much more convincing and interesting. Last but certainly not least, one of the cool things that I used for this animation specifically was the new Eevee. Using ray tracing in Eevee. For instance, this is a glass shader running in Eevee right now. It handled BlenderKit textures beautifully, and it really sped up the workflow because everything was ready to go in the viewport, and that made editing even faster. So if you haven't checked out my video, give it a watch. I'll link it up here and in the description. I'm taking suggestions for the next one. I'm thinking about doing lightsaber, maybe the Harry Potter wand, but comment below and let me know what you think would be really cool to be exploded or talked about in Blender. Thank you so much for watching.